playing these games. We're going to find out how it all goes as the Lions take on the Super Hot crew here. Our second day of Super Week. Still a whole bunch of games to go throughout this week. Of course, another 4 games to go after this one. Actually, that's a total lie. 3 games to go after this one. 4 including this one. There we go. Cover my back on that.
So not too bad, not too bad. Shook is a little shaken up at the moment. He forgot his trinket. So 30 seconds on the clock. Not going to be able to make use of that tool. Has realized it and backed away. And I think we're going to see defensive starts. Neither team is making any sort of movement towards their opponent's side of the jungles, but there is always the opportunity for a late invade, so let's keep our eyes on how this one plays out.
Currently sat complete line on both sides of the map, and even if Alliance had something planned for level 1, Shook kind of
whiffed it.
Whiffed it, yes. That's the right terminology, I think, to use for that one. He is back now in position, though, as we see Tabs and Mr. Rolls having a bit of a dance. Swinging the axes, swinging the pistols, and there is a ward down from Tabs, which will have been spotted by Mr. Roll, so they know it's there. Meanwhile, Mima and Wicked having a dance on the top side as well. Looks like we're going to be in for a fairly standard start.
And thus far, it looks like we're going to have straight head-to-head lanes. So it was just the previous game, Copenhagen Wolves Millennium, that traded back and forth a little. We'll see who's going to come out ahead in the skill matchups. It's going to be interesting, although as I say that, it does look like Nif and Tabs may be moving towards a lane swap. Maybe late invade. We'll keep our eyes on how that develops. But you know, Alliance, you would consider them to have a higher individual skill level in each respective role to the Super Hot crew. Just experience and being involved and how long the players have been around the scene. We'll see if it manifests. If they do go for this lane swap, who's going to get ahead? Because, of course, Nif on Leona, it's a bit more difficult to get tower damage and push the wave out as effectively as a Thresh can. So we'll see how this works.
No doubt about that one. Impaler here just going through his jungle with the help of Mima. And in the mid lane, Yasuo versus Lulu. Lulu, of course, in the hands of Froggen. Selfie got himself the Yasuo this time around. Actually going in there for a little bit of harass early on. Actually took more damage from the minions than he dished out.
Yeah, we'll need to keep our eyes on how these level 1s are starting off, because today we've seen a lot of top laners and junglers, buddying up with their jungle and going around to clear their own camps. And the only reason I highlight that is, with 4.6 and 4.5, they were pushing into their opponent's jungle and stealing the camps away that way, going for the tower pressure, 2v1, 3v0s, 4v0s, etc. So this is an evolution that could stem from the trinkets being earlier and can also stem from the additional damage reduction on the bottom towers. The damage reduction is boosted by 10 to all outer turrets. It's up to 30 now, so it is more difficult to get those early towers down. Regardless, it looks like 4 members of Super Hot crew will be meeting up in this bottom lane. They will be bumping into Wicked and Shook if Wicked and Shook opt to defend.
Tabs and Nif also pushing up on that top side, and there is Wicked going to be spotted out. So this is going to be a big push from the Super Hot crew. Actually, Mima going to TP away to the top lane, so he's going to try and keep a hold of that turret as well as he possibly can. Actually, Wicked TPing up there as well. So from what was just a 2 versus 0 turned into a 2v1, and now a 3v0 as Mima actually leaves the lane.
So they should be trading towers. It looks like Wicked is doing probably the smart decision here. He's stealing away the double golem, so grabbing himself some additional golden experience to just get that marginal lead over his opposite number, Mima. Towers will be falling around about the same time. So an interesting start to the game. And this is something that we as spectators need to keep our eye on, is how the teams are going to evolve this low-level, level 1 and early game decisions with the trinkets, with the towers, and with the pushes. Towers should fall in this wave, and it looks like it'll be the same in the bottom, so even Stevens, that's fine.
Even Stevens, both lanes just letting those minions go down to the turrets as well before they end up finishing things off. Tab's doing that perfectly well.
Middle lane, Selfie.
Oh, Selfie is truly going to go down. Shook taking a lot of damage. Ignite ticking away. Actually will survive there thanks to the shield coming out of Froggen. Impaler actually going to try and get involved with this one, but Wicked there as well. Can't chase on through. And in the end, Selfie surviving just about.
Manages to outlast that Ignite tick. The tower dive from Alliance obviously not paying off. We didn't see the setup for that dive, but Selfie, I think, very lucky to get away. He's relying on his passive shield to stay alive. Nif does not have Ignite. So let's see if he stands. That's a great wind wall.
Oh, wind wall coming down. Impaler, though, going to take all the damage, and they've walked away from it. w1d2 coming around the side. Actually, Impaler repelled there right at the end. Didn't have anywhere to actually go with it, so he just kind of went up in the air and went straight back down again. No kills, though, but very, very close.
Yeah, very close indeed. Alliance, the first ones to make the moves. They responded to the tower pressure in the bottom lane, I think, quite well. Wicked used his teleport to get up to the top lane, but only after Mima had channeled his teleport. So the cooldowns are a little disjointed, but he made the decision once he had that information. They traded towers in the top and the bottom lane, and Alliance instantly responded by sending pressure to the mid lane. The gank didn't succeed though, so Alliance unfortunately don't gain anything from it, but you do have to give them props for trying, and it's just a proactive approach to the early game.
Self back now into that lane, got himself a ramp set to first, so looking to stay a little bit longer after all the harass that Froggen's put down onto him. The 10 CS lead has opened up for Froggen in that middle lane. Meanwhile, we have Wicked and Mr. Ralls. Wicked's going to take a lot of damage if he's not careful. Actually picked up a Doran's shield as his first buy there, obviously, after starting with that Doran's blade from the get-go.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eyes on Mr. Ralls as well, see how many stacks he gets of that adoration, and how quickly he can cash it in. It's quite interesting when you look at Draven, because you ought to assume he's a very aggressive champion in the lane, which he is. You want to get those spinning axe damage down, but you actually don't want to kill anybody early on. You want to build up those adoration stacks and get a nice big chunk of bonus gold once you are ready. So as it stands, AD carry in the bottom lane for Super Haku. Mr. Ralls has been CSing. He's marginally behind that of Tabs, but Alliance have had a lot of map movements. They've had multiple members of their team in this red side of the jungle for Super Haku. They were pressuring top, now they were pressuring red, and now they're stacked in the middle. So a lot of mobility from Alliance, and they've caught Impaler.
Impaler taking a lot of damage. Good Cocoon comes down. There is Selfie actually going in. Shook taking a lot of damage. Did get the wild growth onto him there as well. As Nif tries to go in, stuns up Selfie, and again, so much damage done, but no first blood.
Not this time around. And Lulu functions in a similar way to Kale against assassins like Yasuo. We've seen Yasuo, oh no, they've caught w1d2, almost caught w1d2. And the moment somebody gets caught by that last breath, if your wild growth timing is quick enough, you just instantly mitigate all of the pressure and all of the presence that Yasuo has. So Shook's going for the invade, he wants ready, get it!
Oh, nicely done there. Stolen away in the end with a Q, and actually Smite
it's too early.
Missed. Yeah.
It was just too early. That's actually a worrying sign. You know, Impaler was off his game yesterday. He didn't do well in Lee Sin. He's already had one or two questionable moves this game already, and not smiting your own red buff. When you know the damage, you know exactly. It was stolen by a sonic wave, so I think Impaler a little unlucky. We're going to start off with the dragon. With the Spiderlings, they can tank up the dragon quite effectively, and there's no one from Alliance to contest. So this is smart play. This is very good information, or very good calling from Super Haku to realize there's no one from Alliance they can challenge, and they grab a very early dragon.
Yeah, nice call. Puts them ahead in gold, albeit just by 300-400 or so at this stage of the game. So early lead in there for the Super Haku, despite the fact that they are struggling in this mid lane. AD carry a little bit behind as well there, 80-74. Tabs having the lead when we compare the two ADCs, and Tabs just been sat in this top lane the entire time, farming away.
Got himself up to 82 CS, he's got a BF sword already. Mr. Ralls is keeping up in CS, so that we do have to keep an eye on that. And I'm actually very impressed with Alliance's early game. They've been in Super Haku's face multiple times. They have not lost out in CS, but it has been at the cost of both Wicked and Mima. By the 10-minute mark, considering how early these two respective champions could have been in lane CSing, they're at 34 and 44 CS, which is pretty low numbers. I think top lane is at 10. The average sits around 52 to 55, so they're behind the league average at 10 minutes. And we'll see who's going to have a bigger impact once the fights start, because Mima's Dragon's Descent can be very disruptive if it hits multiple people.
Right now, both teams just going back to having a bit more passive farming. Actually, Mr. Ralls headed towards the top side of the map here, so trying to get in lane against Tabs. That should keep them ticking around about even. We will fail her in the meantime, realizing there's not much thing to do apart from get some good vision down, and we'll get 2 wards in the Alliance jungle there. So nice little bit of warding for him. In fact, super hot crew here gonna start congregating with 4 men, maybe gonna look to push down this turret.
They've got a lot of support, but thanks to the culling from Tabs, they don't have the minions anymore. So, you know, Tabs just wisely defends at the cost of just 1 cooldown. So Super Hot Crew trying to make something happen. I think they've got a little bit of vision to play with, and they'll know that blue buff will be up in the not too distant future. So maybe with the wards that Super Hot Crew placed at the right now, they will be looking to invade and go for steal.
Let's have a look from that one. The wards were put down by We Will Fail just a few moments ago there. I mean, interesting little start here. Obviously, already seen the first dragon of the game going down. A turret apiece is where they currently stand. Also, a lot of damage done when we look at those mini fights in the mid lane, but still, up till now, no first blood being recorded for either team. And Shook, expecting that the Super Hot Crew were actually going to come in for another push onto this top lane, did move through with anticipation toward the top side of the map, but actually, no one even going to be there. The duos have packed away, picking themselves up. The Golems and Impalers already down on the bottom side of the map.
I like the fact that Super Hot Crew instantly backed away. They realized that they didn't have an opportunity, or they didn't have a way into that tower, so just go back to the lanes, carry on farming as best as you can. Selfie's gone a slightly different route on his Yasuo build, got early Berserker's Greaves and Vamp Scepter, so he's going to be delayed in terms of hitting that scary power spike where we like to see the static shiv and then, you know, maybe Blade of the Ruined King or Infinity Edge or, you know, another damage item, because we're 3 for 3 today on Yasuo games. Every game we've casted has had a Yasuo, and this is a slightly different build from the norm. We'll see if it works out for Selfie, because all of the previous Yasuos have taken time to scale, have taken time to get to a powerful point.
Yeah, I think part of that just needed that Vamp Scepter to actually stay in lane then. It's Froggen completely bullying him out. There is Shook. And Tab's actually moving over with Nif as well now towards that mid lane once again, maybe looking for a bit of action as Impale going to come across. Nif going to be able to lock him up. There is a repel, but he's got nowhere to go except onto the lantern. Gets him back to safety.
Solar Flare was just too early. Nif, had he delayed that or tried to time it for the repel or something similar, maybe that would have worked out. Unfortunately, Impale was able to get away quickly enough, and that obviously allowed We Will Fail his good positioning with the lantern to get him out cleanly. So that's already a positive play from We Will Fail. He saved 1 or 2 lives with that lantern. So good start, but again, it's all about Alliance. They are the ones making the aggressive plays. They are the ones trying to disrupt Super Hot Crew. So we'll need to see where the first play from the Super Hot Crew stems from. It's been a farm fest. Tabs has got a minute advantage in CS. But other than that, it's pretty close in all aspects. Don't forget, Super Hot Crew did take that first dragon. So it'll be respawning in a minute. We'll see if they want to go and try sneak it away again, or if Alliance will try contest.
Alliance had no vision as I seem to recall, so we'll see if they've actually got the timer down, and it's Mima going to jump in aggressively here on towards Wicked. Shook was just a little bit further back. He'd actually come down to that lane to see if he could get in there, maybe for a possible gank. That wasn't really on the cards for them though. And now we see the team starting to move around about that dragon area. Already a pink ward down in the brush, but Impaler stood on a ward himself.
From a stats perspective, Mima was always going to win that fight. With a Giant's Belt and the bonus armor and MR that he gets from his ultimate, it just makes it exponentially more effective. In addition, he had a Blade of the Ruined King, so the slow, the lifesteal, the attack damage. Wicked's got nothing completed yet but his boots. So, still working himself towards the makings of a Trinity Force. He will also need more time before he becomes scary. So Dragon's up in 20 seconds. I'm pretty confident Alliance had vision of the pit. So I think they should see the icon up on their mini-map. And it's just going to be up to Super Hot Crew to see how they play it out. They may not be as brave anymore because Alliance have got a little more powerful. There is a teleport available from Wicked. So it is risky unless they know where their opponents are. And for the time being, there's a few questions.
Dragon has now spawned in. That ward that caught Impaler a little bit earlier on is still in place there on the curve bush. So Alliance know that dragon is going to be up and available to them. They've got 4 men around that area on the map. The question is, do they want to try and get themselves in there. As I said before, both Mima and Wicked have got teleport available should they need to be called in. And Alliance can simply play the positioning game here and say, okay, if you go towards Dragon any further, we're just going to keep pushing mid.
Yeah, and Super Crew have to be careful if they start Dragon. They run the risk of getting hit by the Solar Flare and then a multi-man knockup from Wild Growth. That amount of crowd control would seal the deal in a team fight. They've caught Nif!
They've caught out Nif. Will they go on to him? There is a hook landing as well. We will fail it. All in the middle of the team. The knockup coming around as well. Ultimate comes down, and actually everyone going low with Nif in particular. Finally, the first blood will land. That will go over towards Selfie. Shook will fall as well. Looking good here for the Super Hot Crew. Can they finish off tabs? There is the knockup. That's surely going to seal the deal, and it will go over to Selfie. That's a 3-0 for the Super Hot Crew, and they're going to get the Dragon as well.
Very, very well executed by the Super Hot Crew. They landed the crowd control that they needed to without being affected by the Solar Flare, without being really negatively impacted by that Wild Growth. The fight actually took a very long time to conclude because of the fact that there's not a massive amount of damage across the board. You know, Selfie's Yasuo ultimate didn't really do a lot. Take a look at this. He's going to catch a few members, and it doesn't really burst anyone down. To be fair, the Wild Growth also came instantly afterwards, so that does play into his favor. And Mr. Rolls, he gets 690 bonus gold from the kill on Shook. It's about to pop up, plus 300, plus 690. 1,000 gold from that kill. And obviously just the chasing potential was very, very good. So well-executed team fight from Super Hot Crew. They initiated, they caught the CC at the right time. They made the first play, and that's why they won it.
Interesting to see how they left that kill over to Selfie as well there. Mr. Rolls could have definitely had that away himself if needed, but as you said, he got a lot of gold for that kill anyway, and that's actually giving him now Bloodthirster, Brutalizer, and the Avarice Blade as well. So a little bit scary is this Draven moving forward.
All of those stacks have been cached. He's going to start stacking them up again. So this is a similar situation. Super Crew will be happy to play passive until Dragon's up. Now Mima is in a little bit of trouble. He's losing this badly, actually.
Yeah, Wicked actually already did get him low, forced the ultimate out of him to escape from Wicked, and in the end, just showing that Wicked having a good time up in this top lane. Got himself a little CS lead, not quite up to getting that Trinity Force finished off, although he does have the Zeal and the Sheen already picked up for him, so he's not going to be too far away from picking up that Trinity Force as a whole. Some other items that have come in here, the themes that was done earlier on from Froggen is now joined by a needlessly large rod. His opposite number, Yasuo for Selfie. Static Shiv is done with the Cutlass in there as well.
Yeah, and something to point out regarding that duel between Mima and Wicked. Wicked, of course, has got his Heat and Style, his W, which will be dealing true damage. So, there you go, Draven. So that's obviously going to help mitigate the defensive stat that Mima gets at Shyvana. 75 true damage per auto attack because it is at max rank. That is obviously where Wicked has already put all of his points. So the longer those fights go, the better the chances of Wicked actually winning it, because you can't mitigate true damage, you can't reduce it. And that's probably part of the reason why Mima ran away. He also didn't have Dragon's Descent available to him. So we did see in that mid lane a little bit of picks. Super Hot Crew with a small gold lead, a few thousand gold at the 20-minute mark, but they're far from being in control of the map. It's still Alliance pushing, roaming in the jungle. It's Alliance moving around, not Super Hot Crew.
And Alliance are now moving in towards that middle turret, and well, the ultimate from Mr. Rolls thrown out. I said no, it's going to get rid of that minion wave so that you can't actually stick around. He's actually just finished off the Ghost Blade there.
It works in his favor when you consider he's going to be sort of run down by Wicked, run down by Lee Sin. If he can get the movement speed increase from the Ghost Blade and step out of a Solar Flare, I think it's quite a smart move. It also benefits him. Every single stat that Ghostblade gives you works in favor of Draven. So, good pickup. I actually like it because of the fact that if Mr. Rolls gets caught up or locked down at all, there's very little protection outside of really Thresh. He's got to be the lantern. He's got to have a good box. He's got to have a good flay down to really peel and protect Mr. Rolls.
Another item coming in there. Wicked has now finished off that Trinity Force, so could be a few more problems for Mima, although he himself now has pretty much that Sunfire Cape finished off. Got himself the Chain Vest and of course that Giant's Belt from a little bit earlier on as well. Blue buff was just secured on the Super Hot Crew side of the map. Froggen also got his just a few moments before that one. If you look at the CS, actually there's a bit of a total starting to work up here for Tabs, actually, in the lead over Mr. Rolls, who's still trying his best here in this mid lane, trying to get back up, really, to compare himself there with Mr. Rolls, but basically because of that kill that gifted him so much gold, he's still 1,000 gold up.
And the 2 dragons as well, so the global objectives being in favor of Super Hot Crew. If Super Hot Crew can continue to control the Dragon Pit, that will be a definite way to put themselves in a strong lead in this mid-game. But Alliance won the mid-game yesterday against the Wolves. Alliance fell behind a few thousand, and once they actually lost a very bad team fight at 23 minutes, and then Alliance decided to get on the same page as a team, and they started winning fights. So it could be a similar situation. You can't discount them because the lead is not big enough to really say, look, Super Hot Crew are definitely ahead, especially when you look at CS. They're behind now in every lane except mid.
And that one is very, very close still. Did see the Blade of the Ruin King actually finished off for Selfie as his second item, so interesting. Most of the Yasuo players that we've seen over the last 2 days have gone for that Blade of the Ruin King second, which we've seen a couple of Trinity Forces as well as that second item as well. Right now, Alliance actually letting the Super Hot Crew move around that middle area and actually stalking through the Super Hot Crew jungle here. They're going to try and set something up. Pink Ward going to be spotted out by Super Hot Crew, and in the end, Alliance just circle around and back away.
Wicked is the man to watch as far as Alliance are concerned, because Mima cannot split push against him. Mima's losing this trade, you're noticing, every time they fight. Selfie, if he picks a fight with Wicked, one-on-one, I actually think Wicked may be able to win that one. He doesn't have a sustain after. Oh, Mima's in trouble.
Yeah, Mima's in a lot of trouble. The dash comes in, Flash as well. Has he got enough damage? No! Mima gets away.
Manages to use the Bilgewater Cutlass. That was very well played by Wicked, though. He just straight up 1v1'd him, managed to use the dash from his Q as Mima was flying away. Unfortunately, didn't get in range close enough to secure the kill. But until Super Hot Crew can deal with Wicked, they can't split push. Super Hot Crew need to be able to 1v1 Wicked before they can start playing the map and getting control, which is what their team comp can do very well. Traded Dragon for mid turret, and this could be another very big team fight. Dragon's Descent into Last Breath, that's what the initiation tool could be.
Well, Mima is going to be stepping forward. Selfie going to go through with him as well. Here comes w1d2 from around the side. They're going to have to fight here. Alliance ulti's coming in left, right, and center. Wild Growth actually used on Tab. Nif managing to lock up everyone, but it's Wicked that actually falls first. There's a great kick coming in. He'll secure the kill onto Mr. Rolls. w1d2 goes down. Tab's also picked off there at the back, and that's a 3 for 2 in favor of the Super Hot Crew.
Yeah, Super Hot Crew didn't get the damage quickly enough onto the carries. They focused on Wicked. He was up on the front line. Even though they trade 2 for 3, Super Hot Crew are going to get a tower out of this as well, thanks to the fact that Selfie and Mima saved their ultimates. Selfie in particular saved his ultimate for quite late in that fight. Managed to get it down when it was the most important. Another big team fight, another one that Super Hot Crew end up winning. Alliance was split. I mean, they didn't have the best focus. The Wild Growth was good, and this is where the Last Breath comes in. It was onto Nif and Wicked. But you'll see Froggen untouched. Tabs, he survives for so long, he actually shuts down Mr. Rolls himself. And had Super Hot Crew killed either Froggen or Tabs quicker, that could have been even more in their favor. But at the end of the day, they still won the team fight.
Well, Alliance starting to lose any grip on this game, although hesitant to say that after what we saw yesterday against the Copenhagen Wolves. I think that was about 6,000 gold at one point that game, that they were in lead 4 or 6, one of those two. A big lead either way that they managed to claw back. This one is in a similar region for them, 4,500 gold. Currently the Super Hot Crew lead this, and well, not quite catching w1d2 as intended, I think.
That Zenith Blade fight just quite wasn't enough for the kill. Wow. And w1d2 managed to get away. I'm actually impressed with w1d2's Thresh thus far. He's had pretty good plays, he's landed a few death sentences, and, you know, he was coming into the Super Hot Crew, he replaced Mixer, who, in my mind, had a very good laning phase. But Mixer's mid to late game, he often was out of position and maybe overzealous and over-eager on his initiations. w1d2 gets away with his life in that situation. Maybe just going to be a little more cautious for the rest of this game. And Super Hot Crew, again, just biding their time, trying to build up power. With Selfie going for the QSS as his next item, again, he's delaying that hard-hitting insta-give power spike but it does allow him to get out of the CC that, you know, stun from Wicked, stun from Nif, slow from Froggen as well. So it's a trade-off, I guess. He can do more by removing the lockdown.
Cap done there for Froggen as well while we're on the topic of items, and we're going to be seeing a couple of randoins coming the way of Alliance as well. Wicked and Shock will be the two to pick those up. While we're on the items with Alliance, Tab's also got himself the Trinity Force finished off, of course, second one now on their team. Almost forgot the name of Trinity Force. Freak would literally have my head for doing that. And Super Hot Crew actually moving down towards the inner turret there in that mid lane, but not actually catching anything. Froggen, meanwhile, chasing Mima out of position there as they come down through the river, and they may just clash heads here. The Super Hot Crew inside of Alliance's jungle, taking away the red buff.
If I were Alliance, I'd be scared. They've lost the last two major team fights that have taken place, and unless Alliance really land their CC effectively, Super Hot Crew have got a lot of damage sources that have built up. So right now, Super Hot Crew pushing the bottom lane. Mr. Rolls is clearing out the minion wave, and nobody from Alliance has responded yet. There's no teleport on Wicked either, so this is going to be a lot of damage in the start. It might go down if they stick around.
I think it may just do as well. Nif actually is finally coming in to try and stop that one from happening. Froggen in the middle of the map, kind of in no man's land for what's actually happening here on the map. He's going to have to start moving around. In fact, he's pushing himself up through that mid lane here and may even be able to get himself some free damage. Meanwhile, Wicked has taken the inner turret in that top lane as well. So even though it's the Super Hot Crew making the move towards this inner turret in the bottom lane, it's Alliance that are actually picking up turrets.
It is. Froggen is going to get a lot of damage on the inner turret. He's decided to back away now as Mima has moved himself into lane. Isn't going to be able to interrupt it. Oh, had the option to Dragon's Descent, but now Froggen might get caught out.
Yeah.
That little bit of gusto, he needs to run north. He's got wards, he's got vision, he can make it out cleanly. There's a lot of movement speed that he can give himself, so he should be fine to get away.
And Selfie did finally come through. Froggen's like, nah, you're not going to be able to catch me. That's not a thing that's going to happen for this one. So let's have a look at where we stand. We're about to hit 27 minutes into the game. Both teams with 3 turrets apiece. But it's the Super Hot Crew with that superior dragon control, 6-2 leading kills as well. They're currently leading the way when it comes to gold. Still sat at a 4,000 lead as we see the recall coming in. They managed to stop Mr. Rose. Solar Flare goes down. Shouldn't happen, really.
It really, really shouldn't at this level of play. And that's just unfortunate. It might happen again. Not this time. It's just unfortunate. Mr. Rolls was convinced half a second would have been the difference, and gets caught out, gives up a kill. So 1, 2, and 5. My fantasy team will be unhappy with that death. And I do want to say Super Hot Crew, they played aggressively. They pushed the bottom lane, they pushed the mid lane. Unfortunately for them, Alliance got ahead early on. Wicked is already very scary. He was pushing the top lane out, he got that tower uncontested, and now they're trying to focus him down.
Speaking of Wicked, actually it's a great cocoon from Impaler landing over the top of the wall. Meanwhile, we do see that Mima is pushing on the top side of the map, but it's all about Dragon here. Alliance in position. They're going to take it faster than the Super Hot Crew can react certainly to the Dragon, but the Super Hot Crew are pushing mid.
Yeah, they might
top.
lose towers. Super Hot Crew have backed away from the mid lane, realizing they don't want to be collapsed upon. They only had 3 members there, and if you'll notice, Mr. Rolls is behind. So Alliance going to be trading Dragon for tower. It is a 28-minute Dragon at a higher level, so it should be getting close to its max value. So I think Alliance will get more gold out of the trade, but obviously not having that tower to fall back to is very, very important. If Super Hot Crew do start playing the split push game with Shyvana and the Yasuo, it's an easier lane to get down to the inhibitor turret now, because obviously there's nothing left standing, nothing in its way. Bottom lane also, tower went down, so Super Hot Crew a tower to the good when compared to Alliance.
Looking strong, that's for sure. Also searching, of course, for their first win of the season. It's only their second game, though, so, you know.
Gotta start somewhere, Joe.
Gotta start somewhere. I think I was looking for a story that didn't really exist at that point after only 1 game played for them. But there's more wards taken down for the Super Hot Crew, keeping a good control of vision when it comes to the Baron Pit. And Tab's actually pushing up this mid lane. This could get interesting if the Super Hot Crew decide to try and flank around the backside of them. As it happens, they don't know. Mima actually did just go back home, pick himself up a couple more items. Going to play to the Ruin King now. Randuin's will be finished fairly soon as well.
So something that we haven't touched on or I haven't highlighted regarding the team comps, the way these team fights will play out. We'll talk about that in a moment as Super Hard Crew have actually started the Baron. It's going down quickly, but I think they'll need to peel and fight. They will need to peel and fight. Shook and Wicked are arriving. We will fail is trying to protect.
Put down the box, but there is a Baron already going down. They're going to go in for Shook. Can they hold him down? Yes, they can. Surely it's Mr. Rolls that gets that kill. Oh, not quite landing onto Froggen, but the Super Hot Crew rushed down the Baron before they could get there. Credit to We Will Fail for really zoning and keeping the Alliance away for so long.
Decisive play from Super Hot Crew. They rush Baron. We Will Fail made the call. Whoever the captain is that said, I will stop them. I'll put the box down. I'll put the play down. You stick on Baron. You stick on Baron. Hey, they learned from yesterday. They stuck on Baron. They didn't run the risk of giving it away. So now Super Hot Crew have got a 5,000 gold lead. They've a numbers advantage, and they're going to siege down this mid turret. They also have their key ultimates available, with the exception of the box. All of their damaging spells are still there, which is very good for them.
And still pushing on through here. That is the final turret outside of Alliance's base that was left standing. Puts them up 6-4. Cocoon landing on towards Tabs, and that's a max range chunk. Will it follow through? Yes, it will. Throwing all the ultimates in. Tabs going very low. Wild Growth actually keeps him alive for quite a while in this one, but they're also very low. And Selfie, he's trying to mop up the kills. He's going to get at least Wicked. He gets the knock up onto Froggen, but they don't follow through. They should take the inning though.
That was very good skill shot. Impaler lands the Cocoon. We Will Failure follows up with the death sentence, and connecting the CC allowed them to find the picks and find the kills. They've got another tower down, the first inhibitor of the game, and they're going to back away. One of the keys to the Super Hot Crew's comp is it synergizes so well with each other, and because their skill shots are made easier when your opponents are jumping into your face, the point I wanted to make earlier, Irelia, Lee Sin, Leona, they want to get close range, they want to be clumped together, which just means Yasuo, Shyvana, Draven have an easier time of landing their ultimates and their AoE spells. Super Hot Crew did a great job. They found a pick onto Tabs. They found just a perfect skill shot that has completely given them control. With Baron and Super Minions, it is now their game to lose.
Definitely is. We've seen bigger games, I guess we could say, lost. Couldn't get my words out there either. Bigger leads lost is what I was trying to say in the past. We'll see how the Super Hot Crew go. We heard from Frog, and he said it himself, that some of the problems that they have with those late game calls and decision making is a problem for the Super Hot Crew as well as Alliance. However, I have to say, the Super Hot Crew, when it came to the Baron and the push there down towards that bottom side and the fight, they were very, very decisive. There was no messing around there or any real hesitation to get things started.
I concur. In comparison to their performance yesterday, much more on the ball, much more active in making decisions. It's actually reminiscent of Gambit. Gambit yesterday, not on the same page, not making plays. Today, absolute monsters. And it just feels like the whole of Super Hot Crew their thought processes are aligned, which makes you go, this must be a scrim composition. These must be champions that the team has played online, has played together in the past. Selfie yesterday looked somewhat lost on Twisted Fate. He struggled in he lost 1v1 against Curb multiple times. Now on Yasuo, he's 4-0-4. He's out-CS'd Froggen, and he's just doing a very, very good job at being in the right place and getting the right ultimates off when they're needed. So Super Hot Crew now sieging. Super Minions will be pushing in the bottom lane. There's no minions there to slow them down. So let's see if any CC can land. If Super Hot Crew connects with something, I think they'll go in.
I think so as well. Well, they've already done it once, so if they land right hook here onto the right person, actually Wicked got chunked down by Mr. Rolls. He is doing incredible amounts of damage. They've actually sent Tabs away here to clear that bottom lane, so that gives them the opportunity to force their way in on the top side of the map. It's going to be Mima who actually has to tank that one up. Hook from We Will Fail and the Cocoon both missing there as Wicked again gets hit by Mr. Rolls and again loses a ton of health.
Yeah, Super Hot Crew keep chunking the tower down. while they are stacking up, it's not a 5-man stack. So Nif is being very cautious on that solar flare. He doesn't want to use it. There are super minions now going to the Nexus turrets. This is the point where Super Hot Crew have to engage. They've caught Shook, they haven't got in yet.
Don't go in there, but they do see the cocoon landed there on towards Frog, and they're focusing the tower already down to half HP. That's a nice little push. And look at the base itself. The Nexus turrets are going to be hit on here by those super minions. They sent Tabs actually back to do that one, but now the fight starts. Mimer using his ultimate to back away from that one. Baron just timed out. Alliance might see a chance here.
Yeah, a lot of damage got put down onto Mimer. He is the very, very important front line for Super Hot Crew. So I think it's smart of them to back away. We do see those super minions being cleared out by Tabs in the bottom lane. So Super Hot Crew unable to crack the defense of Alliance in this occasion. They will grab themselves a dragon, extend that gold lead further. Realistically, probably set up for Baron. I mean, they made an incredibly good call earlier, stuck to it, got the objective, got some kills, and then followed that through for even more. And with a 9,000 gold lead, see if you can repeat it.
Well, Alliance pushing out as far as they possibly can. You can see that Tabs approaching the halfway point of the map, just trying to keep those waves away from the base here. Stop the likelihood of the Super Hot Crew being able to push through on more than one front. Baron coming up in just over 1 minute's time. And that's going to be a bit of a magnet, I think, for the Super Hot Crew coming into it. Alliance are going to have to challenge for it.
They should have challenged the previous one, but they had no idea what was going on. You know, just very good decisive play. And it's actually something Super Hot Crew's done twice this game. The very first dragon, they just took uncontested.
Yep.
Alliance weren't there. They had no idea it happened. The first Baron, by time Alliance knew it was going on, it was too late. So the Super Hot Crew have been one step ahead of Alliance in the bigger picture. But it took a little while to get there because Alliance did have a pretty strong early game, did have pretty strong rotations through the laning phase. So now with 36 seconds before Baron is up, there are pink wards in the pit. Super Hot Crew know they have vision control. As long as Mimer is pushing the bottom lane, there is always that threat that if Alliance initiate a fight first, they have Wicked with them, and Super Hot Crew will need to wait for the teleport.
Stepping forward there, the hook not quite landing. Cocoon does land onto Wicked, but they don't seem to want him as the initial target. But here comes the teleport. Mimer going to be joining the party. They've managed to catch up Froggen. He's going to take a big blast. Wild Growth will keep him alive. Shook trying to get Mr. Rolls out of the fight. Did a decent job of it, but now they chase in. Nif's the first one to fall. This could very well be the last fight for Alliance in this game. Wicked will be chased down and finished off. Selfie gets that one. 2 men down here. The Super Hot Crew going to push.
They're going to be able to get 2 inhibitors out of this deal. 2 kills. The fight went pretty well for Alliance at the start, but unfortunately, they don't have burst damage. They don't have somebody to just destroy somebody instantly. And because of the fact that Super Hot Crew had the time to get the support they needed, they have burst damage. They have a Yasuo that's melting. They've caught Shook.
They've caught Shook, and he's probably going to die for it as well. Self, it is that finishes off that one. First Nexus turret goes down. Tabs trying to hold them up from the back, but Mr. Rolls in a 1v1, absolutely destroying him. They've gone fairly low on HP now. They've lost Yasuo, and the Cully comes through. That's going to give them 2 kills. Impaler will have to flash away. Miner will go down to Tabs. Disaster maybe here for the Super Hot Crew.
Definitely, no doubt about it. Super Hot Crew give up 4 members of their team. This opens Alliance up to the Baron. There is enough members alive, and Froggen's gonna keep chasing Impaler. Changes his mind when he realizes Impaler's gotten away, and of course Baron is something they can secure. So the rest of Alliance should pick this one up. Impaler can't contest, he's too far away, too low, he won't get there in time. Over-aggression. Super Hot Crew felt they could have gone for the win, stuck around too long, and through the prolonged fight from mid all the way to the base, they just got shut down, just gave up too much. So, at the end of the day, Alliance are going to grab themselves the Baron. They may even kill Impaler as well.
Yes, I believe so. Solar Flare coming in, the kill, calling from the side. It's not the kill in either. Impaler uses the repel to get away, but will he get chased down? No, again. Great max range cocoon onto him. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, those super minions going to have to be cleared out.
Yeah, so there are super minions in middle and bottom. So even though Alliance have Baron buff on their side, they need to deal with all of the map control Super Hot Crew have earned. There is this window where Super Hot Crew now need to... They actually have the option of picking a fight. They have a 10,000 gold lead. Even though Alliance has Baron buff, the gold lead should give them the strength, the item lead, to pick those fights. But Super Hot Crew have struggled at the sieging stage. They haven't actually been able to crack those towers of Alliance when Alliance have been defending as a whole team. So let's see how supa Crew do this. I mean, the only option available for them is to go top lane, wait for super minions to get into the base of Alliance, and then try to seize the tower. But they have to do something different to what they did previously.
Oh, Mima is a hero and TP's into the base. Not going to happen though, at least for now, because there's no ward in there for him to actually TP into, and his teleport is on cooldown. So,
but you're planning ahead, Joe.
I'm planning ahead. I'm planning ahead.
So supa Crew, they have that ability, they have the opportunity to them. supa Crew still also have a lot of base to get through. So even if supa Crew lose a terrible team fight or lose a few members in Alliance's territory, it takes a lot longer for Alliance to get all the way up and really push down the base quite as heavily as supa Crew have done to Alliance. So that opportunity is there. But they can't run the risk of getting clean ace. They cannot run the risk of losing everybody. And that's great work there by Tabs. All of the damage from that piercing light is just clearing those waves pretty effectively. And once Froggen gets there as well, there is pretty good wave clear from those two champions alone.
Alliance setting up a little bit of a trap here, off to the side of the wall. There's the scan coming through. Waiting for supa Crew to actually step out. Wicked goes out of the base there, but still a danger. Hot comes through, they manage to catch Froggen. This is going to be the fight. Ulti's coming in. Froggen's going to go down. Wicked's the next target in this one, surely. He's trying to run away from things and tanking up quite long here. We will fail himself has fallen low. Shug will be the next focus, and surely now, like dominoes, Alliance are going to fall. There is another one onto Wicked. Selfie gets that one. Nif being a bit of a boss there as Selfie goes down to the tower in the end, and now Tabs coming out of the base, getting cocooned up. He's going to fall as well. There's the ace. The supa Crew going to push through and win.
They find the key skill shot, locking Froggen up. They blow him up. And the supa Crew, the 8% that